Good morning. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully, I'm coming through. You can hear me all right. Turn this down. Kick that. All right. All right. Can you hear me out there in the wide, wide world of sports? You might have to put up with the occasional cough today. I'll try and keep it to a minimum. Glad to be back. I was off on vacation last week, getting a little sun. All right, GK man, how are you doing today? I'm going to do a little plan today. I finally got an open on my first Lotto 410. Morning, Rune Smith. How are you doing, sir? Glad to see you this morning. I got my 410 opened a couple different times, then turned around and promptly turned it into a rattle. Oh, it was terrible. So, Mr. Rune Smith, what are you up to over there this morning? Guess I'll get up now. Yeah, I had a late night too, and I still got up early. My dogs just don't let me sleep much. So anyway, I rattle canned this thing. So I got after it and 3D printed a replacement case, went and bought the screws for it. Something went wrong on my 3D print a little bit. I'll figure out what's going on with that and get these cleaned up and doing better. But for me, that's fine. I don't care. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to work. So anywho, that's my grand scheme for today, is to see if I can fix this. It might be a problem though. I'm not really sure what I've got going on down in there. I might have jacked something up. Bigger than doo-doo. Oh, sweet, Rune Smith. Master 29 with a multi-lock core for 20 euros. That sounds pretty damn cool. I'm going to have to see if I can get a shim in this thing. That's awesome. I'll be excited to see your video on that, see what that thing looks like. I can't say I've ever seen one. So that'll be a cool one to see what you actually got there. Yeah. You're not going to hold it. What am I going to do here? I guess I'm going to have to move some things out of the road and get the vise out. It was a vintage box with a 2. Oh, it's beautiful. It's always nice when you can find something cool like that out there, right? Doesn't happen quite as often as a guy would like, but every once in a while you stumble onto something cool like that. Oh, can I get you in here? No. I think I've heard of those, actually. I just haven't actually seen one. But I've heard some other guys talk about those. That's pretty cool, man. That is really cool. I am putting together your pick set. I'm not going to spoil it and show it to you yet, but it's coming along. Dang it. What am I going to use to get in there? What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here? I gotta get that up there so I can see what the heck I'm doing. Maybe right there. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. Nice. Yeah, I got some of my stuff in the other day. It didn't quite get what I wanted, so I got to do a little more tweaking to it, but we'll get there. We will get there. But I've got most of everything ready. I need to put together the pocket set. Still playing with the rakes, huh? Well, I'm glad we could make you get up, GK, man. It's going to be a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I don't know what it's like where you're at, but it's supposed to be pretty gorgeous here. This thing's going to kick my rear end, isn't it? I want to keep you in there. I want to get you pushed down. What I really need is something that can reach down in from the top. But I can't get past that warding to do it with this. So that I can push those pins down to get the shim in there. Sunny but slightly overcast. Yeah, we're supposed to be like 80 degrees today. It's going to be a warm day. Of course, I need to get out and mow the yard today, but why? Before it all turns gray again. Yeah, I've heard it tends to be that way there. Here it tends to be that way occasionally. Come on, you can do it. I know you can. Why? Why? Hey, Mr. Delbert Alexander, how are you today? Yeah, I got mine mowed before I went on vacation, and I came back, and good Lord, I was only gone for a week, and I think it's knee high already. So, come on. Why can I not make you happy? I get the shim in there, and then I can't get that pin to drop. Something I was thinking was going to be pretty easy. No, it is not. Hey, Dutch lock picker, how are you? Hey, who we got wants to hop in with me this morning? Keep me company. In fact, I want to go look at this. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yeah, it did it. All right. Very nice. Do, do, do. Oh, you suck. This thing. Look at that. As soon as I pulled that out, it dropped right in. You're away from the desk. Yeah. I get it. I get it. You know, my arch nemesis lock to pick, and apparently it's my arch nemesis lock to work on, too. Freaky thing. Look at that. Dirty, dirty dog. So what everybody else playing with and working on these days? Anything fun? And there it went in. There I'm down in. Let me see if I can get you to start. Ooh, I think I got one. So now, let me see if I put the key in. If I can get. Come on, you dog. Just trying to beat the 1100. Yeah, the 1100 is a fun lock. I enjoy my 1100s. I know that may seem a little sick and demented in the head, but you know, it's one of those things to do. Ooh, ASA 700, huh? I hear that is a rough lock. All right, that one. How can I get the next one? Man, it is tough to see in there. Let me get this up so maybe I can. I haven't had a chance to experience any ASA locks yet. Oh, that sucks, dude. Sorry to hear that, Dutch. You know, that's a rough thing to have to put up with. Oh, yeah. My wife is like that. She has asthma going on, but it's the same way. It's kind of hit or miss. I don't think I got it yet. I was just at the hospital with my wife yesterday. Actually, she was having something going on. We're not really sure exactly what. I think it was due to medication. Man, this is going to kick my rear. Here I thought this was going to be an easy peasy lemon squeezy, but no. I don't know why it's doing that to me either. I don't guarantee it's because of that one stupid pin that's dropped. Oh yeah, I got a spring all kind of screwed up in there. And I just screwed it up big time. There I can see the spring wrapped around me core, so I might be Scrooged. Anybody got any wise words of wisdom on how to undo that debacle? Throw it in the trash and start over? That's kind of what I was afeared had happened. Got some antibiotics though. Well, that's a good thing. That is a good thing. Yeah, I've removed the clip. The problem I've got is when the pins dropped out, one of the springs got caught up in the core. So I've got a spring kind of wrapped in and tangled in there. So I'm not sure how I'm going to get that out with the... I don't know where the cat is. Oh, the cat's over here laying with the dogs. So the cat that I have seems to think that he's about 3/4 dog. So there you go. There he is, hanging with the dogs, laying on the bed. Eventually he'll get bored and show up because that's what he does. You know, he's kind of a... See, there you go. He was trying to get up here before I started, and he went over there. So let's see. GoPro, Aja, Droid, USB camera. There we go. Get back over here to the right camera. Yeah, I think. I might be out of luck here on this lock. So there you go. You got your kitty fix. Oh, maybe. I might get that spring ripped out of there anyway. Yeah, that's right. Give me a like. The struggle is real, dudes. Boy. You want to see an ugly mess? Oh, dudes. Dudes and dudesettes. Look at that. Look at those beautiful looking springs. Did a nice job on that lock, didn't they? Ooh, buddy. Man, that's just ugly. Yeah, marred up the core pretty good too. Come on, camera, you can do it. I know you can. Yeah, look at that. Tore it up. Yeah, I might have got it out of there, but I don't know what I'm going to do beyond that. Because it's ugly. Ugly, ugly. I don't know if that's going to work to go in this other core now or not. Oh, I'm going to push one more pin out of there, apparently. Whoa, dude. What are the odds of that? That pin hit, bounced all the way over here, landed on my arm, and was sitting there. All right, so now the question is, do I have any pins or springs that just might fit this, or do I not? I do not know what I've got. So I don't think I have springs. Lots of extra pins, but I don't have any extra springs. Well, shucks, Chucky. It'll buff out, right? It just adds like a challenge lock, right? Isn't that what that's going to be? Challenge lock. Nothing in that core, nothing in that core. I can probably go through some cores that I've got laying around here and find some springs. It's not terrible. It just gave it some good scuff marks there where the spring kind of gouged it a little bit, but let's see. It still turns smooth in the core, so I think it'll survive. I just got to find... I don't know. Remember if this one has everything in it or if it's missing something, so I guess we'll find out. Guess I'm going to need... Oh, go away. Another tray, right? That's kind of what I was just thinking, because I don't think, the pins that came with this repinning kit from Sparrows, they're way too big. They won't work. All right. Put that key over there. Let's do you. See if I can open you up without screwing everything up. Yeah, this one is missing. So all I have in there are 4 springs. So I am a spring short. Bummer, dude. I don't know what size these little boogers are. They're from the, it's a Master Lotto 410 that I turned into a rattle can. I'm thinking, maybe see if I can remember how to open this core up. Because I think these pins that are in here might work. This is that one from Harbor Freight that I record. That's a bummer. I was hoping to salvage that lovely little lock. Because that one's kind of a fun little key on that Lotto lock there. So that was a fun little pick. Anywho, yeah, I rattle canned it. So I 3D printed a new case and was going to move it to the case, but the way it rattled, I wasn't able to get everything out without jacking up a spring. So there is that. I don't know if this pack lock core, but that's one I've got to figure out how to get into, because I jacked that one up too. Seems to be my My mode of operation here is I jack things up. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't know. I guess I hadn't heard of that one. I guess anything is possible. I mean, I have more of these locks. So it's not like I don't have others I can play with and just, you know, stick these away until I find somewhere to pick up some springs. Because I don't think, let me look at what I've got in any of my cases. Oh, so I've got 4. This is a 5-pin, right? I might have found a spring. Look at that right there. That I was saving for a rainy day. See, that's why you keep everything. That's why you keep all the goodies, because you just don't know. All right, so these over here, I'm gonna have to do this in a. And we'll take you, move you to the side, because I don't need to look at you, because you'll drive me insane. And God, those are terrible. Ooh, I really jacked it up, dudes. I really jacked it up. All right, so now I need to figure out the order of the pins back into this core. Almost broke some glasses. That'd be a bad deal. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. Now let's start playing. This first one should be a long one. There we are. And then it should be a shorty. See if it's that short. That looks pretty good. Next one should be another long one, because this is just a alternating back and forth. Oh, you don't look like you're right there, though. Let's move you over here. That looks better. That looks pretty good. Let's see about you. That looks pretty good. And how many do I have? 1, 2. I'm trying to remember. A lot of lock. Is that 6-pin? 5-pin. 1, 2, 3, 6-pin. So I'm still short by 1. So I just might have to put it together as a 5-pinner for now, because I'm missing 1 spring. Pretty sure I don't have another spring laying anywhere. Yeah, I don't have any more springs laying. So I'll do it as a 5-pin for right now, and I will find the other ones later. And it looks like all spools with 1 serrated. All right, you lotto lock guys. What was generally the order of that? Where did the spool go? All right, so this way. Nobody knows which hole the spool goes in. Well, I guess I'll just have to make it up as I go along, and it'll be whatever the heck I do. 3, 4, and 5. All right. Yeah, I was thinking I could, if nothing else, I can go down and hit one of my local locksmith shop, see if I can buy some springs off of them. I know he He's an American lock dealer, so he's got quite a few. But I appreciate that offer, sir. I'm really kind of curious to see how well this works. This 3D printed core or case looks pretty cool. It's got a design in it to prevent you from rattling them again. So it's got a ridge printed in the back end of it that actually maintains your pins, which is neat. I currently have a vise printing behind me. I'm making a new vise. Oh, what did I screw up? See? One little pin in there caused me fits. But you know, that's part of the fun, right? Jack it up, try and come up with a way to be able to fix it. We got anybody in here who is a, hey, Jackrabbit, who is a 3D printing guru? Because I'm kind of curious. There we go. What I did wrong or what's going on with my print. I'm having some kind of oddities going on. Yeah, I suppose I could do that. I don't have one, though. I don't have one that's this small a diameter pin. That's my problem. Come on, you can do it. You can get on there. I know you can. What did I do wrong here? Double check. You guys all line up nice and pretty. Yep, you do. Yeah, I was doing this print. Well, I've been having an issue with my 3D prints coming out wrong. And I'm not, oh, I see what, geez, oh, Pete, man. I am telling you. Apparently, I just need to go back to bed, guys, because I am an absolute dork today. Found some fireworks. All right. You know, I'm getting ready to go pick up some fireworks. But, you know, I'll pick up some normal fireworks for the kiddos and playing, and then I'm picking up some adult fireworks. Come on. I have not changed the nozzle. It is a i3 Mega. That one of the guys I works for me sold me. He's already upgraded pretty much everything on the dang thing, so it's got all upgraded stepper motors and the whole works. It does a really nice job, but the one thing that I'm running into is it'll print like you can see here. The bottom layers all look good, and then it'll hit a spot where it will just go wonky as crap. Let's see if I can add some better lighting in there. And then it clears up again, and the rest of the layers are fine. And it's got to be settings or something that I'm doing that way. I just got to figure out what the heck I'm doing. All right, so now let us see how this goes. Hey, Nola, how are you, sir? And I've noticed it does that on just about every freaking print that I've got. It'll give me something wonky. Oh, where to put the shackle? So I'm sure it's got to be a setting or just something that way that I just have jacked up in there someplace somehow. All right. Getting closer. Getting closer. And I'll just throw these other pins in one of my trays and hang on to them. So I've got them here. There. Hey, look at that. I now have a rattle-proof lotto, which apparently is important for me because I'm an idiot. Hey, it worked. Hot diggity dog diggity. That's actually kind of cool. Oh, how many shell layers am I using? Heck, I have no idea, dude. I am extremely new to the 3D printing world, and I don't really know that I know what the heck I'm doing. I believe, let me pull it up. I got to put away a couple things quick first, and then I'll have a look, and I'll tell you. Maybe. What slicer do you use, sir? I'm using Prusa. That was the one that was recommended to me, and yeah, so far it seems to work all right. Master Body Remix. Let me look at this. Maybe. All right. How many shell layers? I'm not really sure what you mean by shell layers. I don't know that I've seen shell layers. When I look at layers and perimeters, my layer height is for layer height 0.15 millimeter, first layer height 0.2 millimeter. That's what I'm currently using. If that makes any sense to you. If that's the layers you is referring to. Yeah, I've got one guy uses Prusa, another guy that works for me, he uses Orca. I've got Orca as well and looked at it a little bit. But outer layers, borders. Let's see, outer layers. Perimeters are set at a minimum of 2. Horizontal shells, top is 0.7 millimeter shell thickness, bottom is 0.5 millimeter thickness. Should be a number 2, 3, 4. So where's that in Prusa, sir? Like I said, I have so much to learn, man. I am an extreme newbie when it comes to this sort of thing. I tried turning down speed because initially he was telling me it was a speed issue. should be a number, 2, 3, or 4 for borders. But where the heck? I am not seeing borders. Man, I got to go get an adapter. I put in a new computer, and I only have one of my monitors hooked up, which really sucks. So I need to go buy an adapter because the new computer, all it has is display ports, and my monitor is HDMI. All right. Yeah, throw me some information. I need to learn. I need to figure this out and get better at it. It's a nice printer. I like the job it does for the most part. I have another filament that I bought trying to do some stuff for my daughter, and oh boy, was that bad. And I think that's just bad filament. It doesn't matter what settings I try with that thing. It bubbles up, and it just turns to absolute trash. So I'm going to give up on that thing. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it's got to be just, I might give it to that other guy and have him try it on his printer and see what he gets. But I have a feeling it is just really, really bad filament. Well, you don't buy the cheap stuff, right? It's not like it's overly expensive anyway, so put out the money and buy the good stuff. Just saying. Because if you don't, you pay the price down the road. Toad. All right. We throw this thing back together, and then we'll get on to something else. I got some things to show people. Let's talk about a little bit. Yeah, and that's what the other guy was telling me. He said it really looked to me on the print like it was too hot. So I started turning down temperatures, and man, the last print I was running, the thing calls for like 220 degree nozzle temp. And my last print with it, I was all the way down to 185 degrees and still just getting absolute trash prints. I mean, like, look at that thing. Again, bottom layer looks fine. And then after that, it just goes to total crap. So, I don't know. Oh, hey, I missed a set of pins. I got to get these put in my case, and then I'll get stuff out of the road here. The other question I have for everybody on here today, I need to get my 250 subscriber giveaway rolling, since I have surpassed that, but I was on vacation, so I didn't get it out there yet. What sounds like a good challenge or quest for people? I don't want to do anything that's going to kill somebody and have somebody not put in. So I was thinking of some kind of a description one again, but anybody got any wise, great ideas on what to do? Hold that back up. All right. Well, hey, Mr. Coxie, how are you, sir? Yeah, see, look at that. I mean, just look at what it did. Absolute. And this stuff just flakes and breaks apart like it's just brittle. And that's why I'm really thinking it's maybe just really, really horrible filament. Because the other filaments that I have seem to be printing okay. Yeah, that's what he was suggesting too, is that maybe it's a moisture issue. It doesn't, it could be. Juggling challenge. Not all of us are as talented as you, man. I'd try to do that and it'd kill me. But I want to show this off real quick. Little Southern Specialties thing. I got my order the other day from them. And get a load of these little beauties. Anodized titanium in blue. Well, maybe I'll have to play with that. It must have come that way with moisture in it. I don't know. So, but look at those beautiful rakes. Aren't those just beautiful looking little jobs? I'm going to play with these a little bit, do a little review video on them. But these are probably going to be in a giveaway at some point. Probably for one of my lives is what I'm thinking. Be handing those out. Another thing I found when I was down there, found a nice little patch, flag patch. Fits on this case just fine. Got my Jimmy Longs in this case right now, along with my bypass tools. Thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Runesmith. Yeah, I've never really messed with these. This is my first set like this with the little pocket tools. He put those in there, and I was like, man, I almost want to keep those, but I probably will give them away to somebody. But those are awesome. They look beautiful, 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 beautiful. Oh, a couple other things. I got another pocket tool from him, a blank. I'm going to fill this up with picks, but look at what he did for the engraving on this one. Threw that, my logo just all over it like that. I think that's pretty damn cool. Yeah, when I was talking with, again, that other gentleman here. So where I am at, where I live, is insanely dry. He said he's never actually had to run his dryer for any of his filament. And this guy, I mean, he's a pretty damn good printer. But the other thing I want to talk about, who recognizes that? What? So I had a request. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. Wait until you see what I had done on yours. It looks pretty cool. You got to look pretty close to make out a couple of things, but there's some cool detail in there that's really neat. But I had a request for some tools to go overseas, and he asked if I could pick up a couple of other things from Southern Specialties to put in there that he wanted to buy, and that included the Shackleman set. So this is the Shackleman Cuff Club pick set. I have a couple extras of these out of the store. Pretty cool. They came out awesome. The other one that I'm really excited for, because I've never had a check it, baby. Yeah, Shackleman, baby. You bet. How about this bear, Mr. Shackleman? This thing is cool. This is the one that he asked for. I'm gonna pull it apart and I'm gonna do a review on this. I think just kind of show it off a little bit, but I'll show you guys right now. This is Southern Specialties. What do they call it? Instructional handcuff kit, beginner kit. Beautiful case, by the way. Beautiful case. I'm going to zoom this up just a little bit. It's a big case. It's a lot going on. So in this case, here's a nice little set of Smiths 100Ps. Very, very nice cuffs, by the way. And then here, another set of Smiths. These are M100s that come in that kit, right? Pretty damn cool. Over here, set of Chicago's X22s that come in that kit. That's 3 sets of cuffs now in this one kit. Oh, look at that, a set of hinged. These are Smith & Wesson's M300s. Again, very nice set, dude. Really, really a lot of goodness in here. But wait, there's more. Over here, wrapped up, is a nice little cutaway, clear, so that you can demo and actually see what's going on and see what your tools are doing down inside of it. So you can see what the operation of a handcuff looks like. Pretty freaking neat, dudes. And, I wasn't sure what to expect because, again, I had never seen this kit before. But that's pretty cool. But not done yet. It also comes with a really nice little case that is chocked full of the little breakaway handcuff keys, shims, hair clips, more of the breakaway keys, more shims, a whole pile. I mean, look at all of the handcuff keys that come in there, different ones. More shims. There is a set of split pawl shims in here as well. So yeah, I mean, that kit comes with everything, dude. Everything you need for a fun time and a learning experience. And let's move that up. Flip this thing over. I don't know if any of you guys, other guys, have seen this kit before. Also comes with a pack of bobby pins and Smith & Wesson booklet for the cuffs. Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. It is awesome, dude. Like I said, I'm going to try and pull that one out and do a little review on it, talk about it, show it off a little bit. Not going to mess with the cuffs too much because they're not mine; they're somebody else's, and that's the plan. So I don't want to mess with somebody else's stuff. But that is pretty cool. So again, if you need anything like that sort of stuff and you want to just place one order, that was kind of what the thought was here. Only having to pay one round of shipping to get them over there. So went with that. And then I found these. So there's my Viper Techs. Then I found these. And I don't know what to make of these. I picked these up in an Academy Sports down in Florida. Right? I agree with you, Coxie. It should have a set of, instead of so many Smiths, it should have a set of Peerless in there. But it is what it is. So anyway, I picked these up in an Academy Sports. They're not great. They're kind of on par with what they look like to the Viper Tech, although they operate a little bit smoother. I don't know who makes them for them. They are Guard Dog Security. There is no names, no branding on them anywhere at all. Lifetime warranty from them on them. Seem to be all right. I've messed with them a little bit. And yeah, not terrible. But it adds into it. So now we have two sets of cuffs to play with. And so the Viper Techs, I can't use the Peerless key in here or that little emergency key, but it works in these. So now I can use the Peerless keys in here. Yeah, I think you're right. That's kind of what they look like to me as well. I was in law enforcement back in the 80s and 90s, and this does kind of remind me of the Smiths that a couple of the guys had then. I was a Peerless guy. That's what I ran, and I really liked the Peerless. Oh, what did I do? Whoa, what happened? What is going on here? There we go. There's nothing. There is no manufacturer on these that I can find anywhere. I mean, I scoured them pretty hard and heavy the other day, and there is not a manufacturer information. There's not a brand. There's not a country of origin. There is nothing anywhere on these cuffs. And I mean, looking at them, they're pretty rough. I wouldn't say that they're any kind of quality product by any means, but they work, But yeah, there is nothing. There is no country of origin listed anywhere on the dang things. So I don't know. But again, like I said, something to play with. More fun to be had. What did you get for $17.50? Are they shorter too? What do you mean by shorter? As far as the chain link? I think they're exactly the same as these Viper Techs as far as length goes. Like I said, I was in the store looking around, and I saw them sitting there, and I thought, yeah, be a good one to have as a comparison. Let's just see See, and there's the Smith & Wessons next to it. So they're the same length as the Smiths. Now you can see the Smiths are a much tighter, better build. These are a little rattly and sloppy, but you know, where these are much tighter handcuffs. But yeah, this kit, man, that's pretty sweet. It's not a cheap kit, but it is a very well done kit. But I agree with you, Coxie, and that might be one of those things that I will mention over there to Aaron that they should consider, because they carry the Peerless. You know, throw a set of Peerless in there. I think you're right. That would be a. I'm not sure which of the Smiths you would eliminate to do that, but man, I don't know how I had all these in this bag before, but they were in there. I promise they were. But yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, still looking. Anybody want to jump in? Hop in and visit. Right? And then I've got some new pick sets. I've got some more of my custom sets. I have some elephant trunks now. I've got a bunch of cases. I have a couple of their large cases. Those things are badass. All right. And I'm surprised. That really works quite nicely. That little 3D printed case. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. I'll have to work on my print quality and print some more of those out there. I will start the challenge. Hey, those look quite similar there, Dutch. To these. Rivets look better on yours than these. Rivets on the set I've got don't look very good. But, you know, it is what it is. And then, yeah, if you guys haven't seen those, Broke Picks Challenge, his coins. Man, they did a beautiful bang-up job on those coins. They just look amazing. I'm still hounding the wife to try and get me a laser printer or a laser engraver so I can do some of my own engraving. I think that'd be fun. I guess I ought to figure out the 3D printing first, huh? I've got it running away back here printing out a vise because I've got the large base vise, which I like, but I want one with the smaller 3-leg vices. And then I modified it and I put holes in the legs that I'm then going to recess magnets into. So you can just stick your tools to the legs of the vise as you're working. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too, looking at those. So I'll throw that suggestion their way. But I agree with you. I think it would be an even sweeter set yet if you got Smiths, Chicago, and Peerless in the kit. Yeah, that would be pretty wicked. I got to have some more magical bean juice. But yeah, that might be a good idea for the challenge. I need to go back up. What was that? Pick the strongest lock you've got with the with the weakest tool you've got. Hey, where are they? Where are they? There you go. There, my weakest tools. Dig those bad boys out. And again, as a reminder, I'll do one video on this and put that out there. But there's the kit in the giveaway for the 200 subscriber. Now the 250 subscriber is a multi-pick set. And then I'll throw a set of dog legs in there as well. But it's a full multi-pick set. I got to go back and look at what the model was again on it. But I got to thank the guys over at Southern Specialties and over at Multi-Pick for getting me that stuff for a giveaway. I think that is outstanding, and I can't wait to get them into somebody's hands. 1 week left, I think. Yep, 1 week left on the 200 giveaway. 250, I don't know how long I'm going to run it, but I'll try and get the video put together for that and put out the challenge and get that one rolling. And what do I have? 25 entries. The used sparrows challenge. Yeah, right. I mean, they are what they are. you know, this is their little starter set, and it is what it is. I mean, I bought some of these handles from It's Tactical before they closed up shop, and that actually helped them out quite a bit. But they're just not my favorites at all. Most of these tension wrenches that are in here as well, I just think are, yeah, they work, but they aren't good by any stretch of the imagination compared to some of the others that I've got out there. There, this beast, after I replaced the core in it, with the shackle spring that's in there, it's a completely different feel of trying to pick this thing than a standard 1100, even though it's an 1100 core. Absolutely, overseas can join. Now on my 250, it depends. So here's what I think I'm going to have to do on the 250. If my 200 subscriber giveaway goes to somebody overseas, I'll cover shipping and I'll send it. But then on the 250, I might need help if it goes overseas on the shipping to help cover the cost, because it gets expensive to do two of them kind of back to back that way. If the 200 goes to somebody in the US, then the 250, I'll ship it to somebody overseas and I'll cover the shipping on it. So, but this thing weighs an absolute massive ton. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just because of the size of it, bulk of it, I have not been able to pick this thing in hand. I can pick it in a vise, but not in hand. It's just something about how it's just bulky enough. I think you end up putting too much tension, maybe. I don't know. But absolutely, Dutch, get in on the drawings. I'm going to do as much as I can, and, you know, it's fun to put some of that out there. I got some, like I said, got some great crap in there, so. Great crap. And this was pretty cool when I found this patch that I got over there. It is absolutely the right size to fit the case. So, and then the magnets work pretty good to hold my poker chips. I don't know what I'm going to put in for here for picks yet. I just, when I went on vacation, this is the case I grabbed because it was smaller than some of my other stuff and threw in and brought some stuff with me. Oh, I get it. And, you know, I agree with you to a degree, RuneSmith. Sparrows has some really nice stuff. They have some cool stuff. And I bet some of their other kits probably would be better. It's just this little tuxedo kit with the picks that are in there. I can't stand them. Out of all of the picks that I have, they're my worst set by far. But I think that Sparrows make some good stuff. I really like their practice locks and their cutaways. And like I said, that's the only set of Sparrows tools that I have. And they're just one that I rarely grab. Now, you know, I also have this really nice Moke set. And I like them. They're great. I don't grab them very often and use them, but I've got them here. And I do grab them once in a while. Now, if you're using the original core that comes in this general, yeah, it's a steaming pile of dung. Thing's terrible. But once you get it open, gut it, and you can throw an American 1100 core in there. And now between the two, you've got a pretty solid lock, dude. You know, there's a lot of other lockpick brands out there that I wouldn't mind trying out and playing with, but you know, I still have a bunch of these beginner sets for the multi-pick, the Sandman beginner sets, and they're nice. You know, I think the big problem there is just price. You know, I bought a bunch of those for the store to sell, and I think I've sold one set, so I'm kind of stuck sitting on inventory, and I've got them dropped down there. You won't find them anywhere in the U.S. cheaper than what I've got. But they're still, you know, you get 3 picks and 3 picks and 3 tension wrenches in the leather pouch. And I think I've got them at like $32. Yeah, this Moki set that I've got is pretty damn cool. It is a very nice set. I just haven't really gotten around to using them very much. I should. I haven't. I use them a little bit once in a while, but not a ton, you know. And I've got the There's the Sparrow's Monkey Paw. I bought that mainly because of the artwork. I don't really like the thin handle, but it works. It's a nice pick, and I love the artwork. It's just really pretty. So I bought that just to have as a collector. I want to try bare bones. That's one I'd really like to try. Yeah, those bare bones look pretty cool. There. Yeah, I agree with you there. Bare bones look really neat. I don't know, might be a hard one to get a hold of too. Oh, got the darn phone ringing over here. So yeah, there's a lot of good brands out there, man. There's a lot of great pick sets, and everybody. Now, I agree with you there, Chuck. If the dog legs won't fit, but what do you have? Do you have the heavy dog legs or do you have the standards? Because that's one thing that I've found. I actually end up using the standards more than I do the heavy, just because, especially on like these Lotto locks, or like I have an Avis Lotto lock. It's got a little more paracentric and tighter keyway. The standards fit where the heavies just don't. They're just too thick. Standard profiles that come in the Escort, all three SP2 profiles are pretty much the same depth. Yeah, that's kind of bizarre. You'd think you'd want to split those up a little bit. You have the standards, huh? Yeah, I haven't. I find that they fit in pretty much everything I've had, but you might be using locks or working on locks that are beyond what I'm doing. I'm a simple man. I just don't have any really good stuff. You know, for me, it's a lot of standard 1100s. There's an 1100 with a master core. Working on some Lottos. I play with my Cutaway. I really like that little thing. This Master 530. That's actually a fun little pick for a relatively simple lock. I enjoy the heck out of that. My Master 6835s. Really like picking those. They're fun. I need to go off and get some more of these engraved. I think I have 2 more that are not engraved. Nope, I have 3 more because I have one upstairs. So I have 3 more I could take down and engrave. I was thinking of going and doing some laser engraving anyway, so maybe a good chance to go logo some up again. But those are fun locks. I really like the 6835s. Flat Jimmy Longs. Yeah, and the only Jimmy Longs I have are the Jim Hook set. And I like those. Those are really nice picks. Really like the handles. Very comfortable, nice to use. They're a sweet set. I bounce around quite a bit. I mean, this is my main kit that I carry with me or use most of the time. And I've got the standard dog legs. I've got elephant trunks, got heavies. And then I've got these are actually a prototype from Southern Specialties. They're a little deeper hook, not deep hook, but maybe a medium hook elephant trunk that they had put together, and he sent me a set of them, which those are pretty slick. They work pretty well. This is my primary pick I use on handcuffs. And then, yeah, after that, I probably go into the Jimmy Longs. Most next after that, I've got the Mokies, but I don't have a real good kit to hold them or case. So they stay down here at my workbench, which is fine. Then I'll use those when I'm here playing with stuff. Yeah. You got to work today, huh, Zoe? Well, I'm sorry. I got to mow lawn and get things ready for tomorrow. We're doing a barbecue, so I got to get some. I've got some ribs upstairs. I'm going to get those things seasoned up and let them sit. Yeah, I started I started with a red team set, which I believe Southern Specialties makes those, and then after that I bought the I bought these next after that, the Sparrows. And then I got a hold of a set of elephant trunks. And yeah, I like the elephant trunk. They're a nice little pick. They do a great job. Yeah. Now I got to see if I can figure out picking this thing again. It's a little stiff because it's a little tight in there. But that's all right. You can hand feel with the 530. And I just like it. It's just to me, that's just a beautiful looking lock. I really like the look of it, like the feel of it. And yeah, it feels good in the hand. It's a nice pick. Same way with the 6835. Is that what I said this was? Yeah. I mean, it's basically the exact same thing as an American 1100. Just has the master core, which same core that this 1100 has in it. So, but yeah, nice locks. Like those. I only have one pack lock. I wouldn't mind getting another pack lock. At some point, I'd like to get my hands on a couple more, what are they, Avis locks? Well, you don't like that? The core of the, yeah, and then they made it, you can take it apart and you can pull the core, but it's this super odd, tiny little freaking core. So it's not like you can replace it or really do much with it, which really sucks. Because other than that, if I could recore that thing to something better, that'd be by far my favorite lock. Right? And then you've got the Cheesemo plastic lock that's got like one of the best freaking cores you can get. Way to go, master. Never understood that one. And then I picked up one of these U-Haul brass locks, but I don't know if you can hear this thing. Hear a little like crunch going on. That's what I've got going on in that lock after picking it about twice. But again, this one, I've been able to rake it, but I haven't single pin picked it yet. But neat little lock for $5. What the heck? Something else to play with. And then I just ordered, what was it? What is it? It is an Agent LS5 wafer lock, I believe. Yeah, it's very crunchy. So, I ordered that one. That is exciting. I think that'll be a fun one for my next lineup of goodness to play with. That is coming from Mr. Ragnar Eriksson. If you have not checked him out, you should. He has a link in his, if you get in with him in Discord. He sells locks. He is over out of Poland, I believe. But he's got some pretty good prices. His shipping isn't half bad. A great guy. So if you are in the market of looking for locks, he's definitely one worth checking out. So let's see. Profile. Let's just go have a quick peek at what he currently has. I will share my screen with you guys. Well, let's have a look. I always like looking at things. Discord, no. Money, this, PC, entire screen. We'll just do this. Allow. All right. So hopefully you guys can see that. So here you go. He puts them in here by what their belt ranking is. Gives you the information on what the lock is. Gives you the information on the price. Most of the time, he has links that you can go look at them to check them out. But this is what I'm grabbing as one of these Agent LS5s. It's one of those locks that you really can't get here in the States. So I thought that'd be fun to get. But he's got some browns. And he'll tell you how many of them that he has available. So, and he's constantly updating that list. He links this out on his Discord channel as a link to this document so you can view what his inventory is. But really cool stuff, man. If you are in the market for locks, check him out. So, yeah, I needed something that was in the purple lot category to start down the road of purple lock. So I figured, hey, that looks like a good one. And something a little different that I wouldn't find. Well, can't find anything even close to that around this place. So let's see. Probably boring everybody to tears over here with my yabbering. But that's what happens when nobody else wants to join in the fun. You just get to listen to me. You know. Yeah. That's what I like about those, right? Handle on one becomes your tension tool for rake with the other one. Very cool. And that anodization, man. I mean, I don't know. It really doesn't do it justice on here, the blue that he got into them, but they look really sweet. Did a really nice job. Which he always does, man. He always does. So like I said, I'm going to play with those just a little bit. And then those will probably be do a drawing on one of my lives in the next few weeks. Give those away. So that ought to be fun. Since I really don't ever use these. You know, and here's the other thing too. So with that Moke set, these are really nice tension wrenches, but holy crap, are they long? I mean, that is a crazy long tension wrench, man. But they're nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. They're just long. They definitely hook up in a lock and work well. You know, I could see that, Charles, that would make more sense. Well, the other thing too, Dutch, if you're looking for something specific lockwise, I can reach out and let you know, because I have an order that'll be heading that direction, and he's looking for some other people that may want to have something thrown in on the order. So if there's any particular lock you're interested in or want, you might be able to get it and throw it in and include it, and not have it kill a guy on trying to get something shipped over too. You can hit me up on Discord if that's something you're interested in, and I can try and put you in contact. Pretty much guarantee it's somebody you probably know. And Mr. Rune Smith, if you haven't checked out him and his custom picks, you should. Absolutely gorgeous. You know, I get the creative ideas in my head, but putting it down on paper and making it happen is a whole nother story. It's just like I'm working on another pick design. I know what I want it to look like, but I don't know how to use AutoCAD worth a crap. So I've been asked to create the drawing file for it. Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. I've got an idea for a rake I want to try out as well, but we'll see someday. Yeah, I could maybe get you one of these 6835s. Throw in an order for you if you wanted there, Dutch. But yeah, he's going to have a pretty substantial order of good things. If it's not Master, what's wrong with Master Lock? They're the greatest ever made. No, I can't blame you. And now I don't know what's going to happen with the Americans, since Master owns American Lock. And, this is a newer 1100, and it's got a Master core in it. So, but like I said, these 6835s actually is not a bad little lock. They're a fun little pick. I wouldn't complain about those any. Now the Lotto 410s, those things can suck an egg as far as I'm concerned. Can't stand those locks. I know my local locksmith, he carries Americans, and he's got some of the other models, a little better higher end ones. And I've thought about picking a couple of those up just to try out, but they're kind of pricey little locks. You start getting into that $60, $70 locks. I'm not going to argue with you on that one, Dutch. I can't agree with you more. The problem is here, like where I'm at especially, I go hit a store. My options are Master or Brinks. And of the two, the Master's probably better than the Brinks. Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right, Chuck. End up with two of them, pre and post. 7140s. I only have one Avis currently here, and that is a 7240, I think. It's the plastic bodied Lotto lock. Boy, that's a tight little keyway on that sucker. Whew. I don't have that down here. I think I left that upstairs in my office. That's one I've played with a little bit, but I have yet to get anywhere with it. But I'm still working my way through trying to understand the whole concept of picking these Lotto style, the dead cores. Now that Avis is not a dead core. It actually has a little bit of spring, but it is really light. So one thing I want to try and find is a supplier somewhere that I can get some locks from to be able to do some custom engraving and just offer some different locks, maybe, and things like that. But just need to figure out where is a good source for them. I wouldn't mind finding a supplier for handcuffs as well. So, man. Well, probably the best thing that Master could do, Chuck, is take the American locks core and designs and put it in their Master locks. That would probably be the best thing it could do. But yes, you're right. Don't mess with the American locks because they're a decent lock. But unfortunately, here's the evidence that that's not what they're doing. So Avis 6540s and Euro cylinders. Yeah, some Euro cylinders would be fun to try out at some point as well. That's the thing. I need to get some new and different locks. I kind of have my same set of locks that I pick all the time. And, it's hard to really grow and get much better when you're picking the same 10 locks all the time. I need to get some new stuff in. So, yeah, dimple locks, I wouldn't mind that. I was thinking of trying to get my hands on one of those Huck dimple lock picks off of Alibaba or whatever. But it's going to have to wait a little bit because with the current trade affairs that are going on, you can't afford it. Woo, buddy. $16 for the kit, $30 for the shipping. Yeah. Or you find one that says, oh, yeah, we'll give you a free shipping, but there's a $30 tariff fee. So that's going to have to wait. I even talked with one of them about ordering a batch of them, and have them here and add them to my store. Yeah. Nope. Couldn't afford to do that. Couldn't afford to sell them at anything that was reasonable. once you figured out how to get around the keyway. See, that's the thing I think on a lot of those Euro locks, right? They've got a much smaller, much more paracentric keyway than what most of our American locks have. Jeez, oh Pete. Trying to think of what else. Oh, I do have another pack lock hanging up there. I have one of the Master US locks. Yeah, I've got a few other locks hanging around up on my wall. I need to move my board. I've got a, let's see if we can. I don't have many locks hanging on there right now because I've kind of pulled them all out. There, I've got my board hanging up there, and there's a American 1100. There's a pack lock. That's the Master US labeled lock. That's a Ruger gun lock, and that one's actually a surprisingly difficult pick. And then a cutaway lock. And I've got my poker chips lined up there. Yeah, I'll give that some thought there, RuneSmith. We'll see. You'll piss the wife off if I do, but she's like, you're giving away too much stuff. You're costing us too much money. And that's what I did. I went down to one of my local locksmiths, and he gave me some cores, but none of them have keys, and most of them are. I've got this Corbin Russwin core here. I have yet to get anywhere on that sucker. That's an LFIC or no SFIC. But I haven't gotten anywhere with that one. I might have to send that on to somebody else that's better than me to see if they can get it apart. Yeah, maybe I'll have to look at that then, Chuck, because that'll be better than what I was running into. Because you can get them. The price of the tools are cheap. It's just the shipping to get them here is astronomical right now. So it is more than what I can swing. I like these Moke. I like the feel of them. I like the handles of them. But I just don't seem to feel like I get the same feedback that I do from some of my other picks. And maybe it's just me and just more time needs to be spent with the picks. I don't have a lot of good locks. I have a lot of masters because, unfortunately, like I said, that's a lot of what is available here. Got this really neat one that Snake sent me. That's an American 1100. Custom engraving on the key and on the lock. Very cool. Then I've got a couple of pack locks, but man, you got to be really careful with those pack locks. Those keyways are so shallow for top of keyway tensioning, and you will round those things out so quick. It's just ridiculous, dude. Terrible. So I've got one of them that, see, I can't get there. You feel the same way on the Mokes, huh? I mean, I like them. They're beautiful picks, very well done. It just doesn't, something there doesn't feel right in my hand, and I haven't quite figured out what that is. But the feedback just feels odd. Send LockChuck a link to what? Let's go 1.2. See, that just feels, the feedback is just totally different. I don't understand it. I don't know how to say it. Still don't have it open, but to join your live. Yeah, I think he said he was off doing something though. He wasn't available to be able to do it. So Got about a half an hour left. I'm gonna have to call her good. I've got a lot of lawn work to do. I've got a lot going on. But hey, if somebody wants to hop in, man, you guys are probably sick and tired of listening to me ramble on about stupid crap. That's what I enjoy with the lives. I like dealing with the chat, BS with everybody. I want to try and get some other people on that maybe not everybody knows, or introduce people a little bit. That's where it gets fun, right? I need to come up with some things, do another giveaway on one of the lives coming up. Like I said, these probably will be one of those type of items. You can hope in. Oh, geez, oh, Pete. Ooh. Well, there you are. Sent it to you over there on Discord. What other platforms do you guys listen in on? I mean, usually on the Discord channels, trying to listen into a few of the channels there. Pay attention over on the LPU Reddit channel a little bit. What else is out there? Oh, I saw, who was it? That was Broke Picks the other day was talking about showing off what toys you've got hanging at your desk. It's like everybody's got toys hanging around. I don't have much. I have my little R2-D2 thumb drive that I've had I've had that thing for a long time. My hammer. I need to hollow him out a little bit more and make a magnet for him so I can stick him up. And that's about all I've got. That is all the fun in the sun. The Nameless Lock Project. Yeah, I was looking at that one a little bit. That looks like that'll be fun to follow and see what they come up with there. Yeah, I need to look for some of the other Facebook groups. I don't know where most of those are. I need to find a few of those. It's always fun to watch and join in there. Hey, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, I had to
Gotcha.
flipping through all my sound settings real quick. Make sure I had everything where it wouldn't backfeed. Alrighty. How are you doing this morning?
Pretty darn good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I used to have that same problem where you were talking about the outside of your printer. It would be like 1/4 of a side or wood perimeter. I don't know how to describe it. Like one direction would just be rough as crap.
Yeah.
And I tried different stuff, and I think I ended up trying to remember. I had to maybe just. I think it may be actually called perimeters in Prusa. I had to change like the number, like up to 3, and I changed my. I think it's extrusion coefficient.
Yeah. See, my perimeter is set to 2.
Yeah, I think I usually do 3 most of the time. And there's an extruder coefficient somewhere in Prusa that basically, normally it's 1-to-1, meaning,
right. So I have like perimeter extruder,
right,
infill extruder.
Right. So perimeter extruder, you may be able to bump that up instead of being, is it 1 right now?
Yeah, it's set to 1.
Yeah, maybe try like 1.05 or something. It'll push more filament, and maybe you won't get those gaps in there. Try that. Do a test print with that, see if that helps and see if it makes it better.
Yeah, I'll maybe give that a shot and see.
It looks like it's not extruding enough plastic in it. It's like air bubbles in it in that area.
Right. Yep. And I get it. I get that even with my better filament. There you can see I have like the first couple layers printed fine.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just kind of went to crap. And then it cleaned up and it was fine again after that. Yeah. And that seems to be what I end up with. I end up with 1 or 2 layers that just look like shit. And then it clears up and it's fine.
Yeah. And let's see. Make sure your fan's not doing anything weird. Like sometimes you can have the fan come on early or go up,
Yep, and I changed that because, originally it was Prusa defaults to fan on all the time, high.
Right.
So I changed that so it's no fan during the first couple of layers.
Right. So it'll bond to the plate good.
Right, because that's the other thing I was having some bonding issues, but so I turned that off. And maybe I need to play more with fan settings too. I don't know. There's so much to learn, man. It is incredible. But
Yeah, and there's some. It is weird. You know how it's doing it on one side. So sometimes even if your fan's on, if it's on either that side, depending on where the discharge is, it could be that the fan's messing it up because some fans don't blow all the way around. They blow
right.
on one side. So it could be, maybe the fan's messing it up right there,
I've
actually making the filament
and I've
move.
printed some other items and they came out perfectly fine. Did a great
Yeah.
job. So I don't know. But,
I
yeah.
usually have the biggest problem on my vise, the ball. I don't know if
Yeah.
this one's got it. That's where I usually see that at the most. Let's see if this one's got it.
Yeah, I haven't printed the ball yet for this one I'm doing right now, but
Well, I don't know if let's see, focus. You can see where it does it just a little bit on that one side right there where it gets rough.
yep.
And sometimes it'll do it, sometimes it won't. It's weird. Like if I do a multi-print, it'll show up on the multi-print, but if I do an individual print, it won't be there. So
yeah, it's really weird. I don't know. Yeah, I'll try those other settings that you suggested out, and we'll see if it comes out any better. See what it does.
Yeah, there's
like I said, a lot of those settings, I really don't know enough about what the heck they do. I need to take some time to sit down and research and learn.
Well, the good thing about Prusa, I think a lot of times if you hover over it, it'll tell you what it does and what changing it will actually do.
And it'll tell you what the recommendation is. And, I know I'm not using that on some of it. I know I've changed a few of it. Like layer height, it's recommending a 0.3. I'm using a 0.15 layer height. Maybe I need to increase the layer height.
Well,
I don't know.
0.3 is like what I usually consider draft. What size nozzle are you using? A 0.4?
The nozzle, I believe. God, I don't remember.
Because to do a 0.3, 0.3 is going to be very rough on the outside. It's going to be like.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. So that's why I was running it way lower than that, and that's what, and I took that from some of the print files that I grabbed. Have the document in their recommended settings, and that's what they were saying.
Yeah, 0.2 is usually standard. Like 0.16 is getting detail, and like 0.1 is ultra fine detail. But like anything above 2 is usually what they consider draft quality.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what the nozzle is. I'll have to ask him what the nozzle is in here, what he said it was. I don't remember.
Yeah, the most common is a 0.4. They will wear out on my first one, like my Creality. Yeah, I had to change the nozzle probably about every 3 months.
Yeah.
Because it's brass. I mean, it just, especially if you're doing any carbon fiber printing or anything.
Yeah, and I'm not doing any of that. I don't have any of that kind of thing. And he never did any of that either. He said, he bought some to try once. And he said, I said, it's so hard on nozzles. He just quit with it.
Yeah, it is. Because you need a steel nozzle. If you're going to,
Yeah. Yeah. And then my son-in-law, he just picked up a Creality the other day. He wants me to try and show him how to use it. And I'm like, that's like the blind leading the blind, dude.
It depends on which Creality. Some of them, if it's a newer one, they're all pretty well self-leveling. And
yeah, his is a self-leveling. It's a C10.
I don't know the numbers anymore.
C10 Plus or something like that. And it's got an auto-leveling bed. The guy he got it from, he bought it used. The guy he got it from said, well, if you do any taller prints, he was running into issues with it having a layer shift at a certain point. And I have a feeling that might just be a calibration issue, or maybe something is not tightened properly or lined up properly on the build when he assembled it.
Yeah, either the belt slipping or the bed plate is moving just a little bit, or could be a bad stepper motor that you got a gear going out in, but more than likely it's a loose belt and it's jumping a tooth or something.
Yeah. So we were gonna look at that a little bit when I'm over at his house tomorrow and see what we can see.
Make sure they're pretty. The belts are tight too, because if you got a loose belt, that'll do it too.
Right. Yeah, like I've got this i3 Mega, but like so the guy that that he works for me. I bought it from him. And he upgraded all of the stepper motors. He upgraded the head. He upgraded everything you could upgrade on the doggone thing before. So like it's running behind me right now, and unless you actually get right up to it, you can't even tell it. You can't hear it.
Wow.
It is super, super quiet.
I mean, I got a bamboo. If I turn it on right now, y'all are going to hear it. I mean, and it's across the room. So
yeah.
But it also prints super fast. So
yeah, I've slowed the speed way down on this one just to see if that would help with the print quality. Because that's what one of the things he was wondering is maybe I had it printing too fast, but print speed didn't seem to make any difference. I get the exact same issues with it.
Yeah, because you can also, there should be a setting that will allow you to just slow down on the outer perimeter.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I did. And then I went in and I slowed down everything else as well just to mess with it and see if it would help. But yeah, I've got it right now running at 30 millimeters a second on the perimeters. And the default was 60. So I'm running at half speed of what it recommended.
I have to admit, because
so
I use bamboo, but it is a derivative of Prusa slicer, and
yeah,
pretty much the same settings and stuff. But yeah, Prusa, you know, I didn't like the, what's the one? Yeah, Cura. I did not like Cura.
Yeah, I haven't messed with that one. I've messed with this and then Orca. And Orca, I hear Orca's pretty good, but man, it's kind of...
I've never used it.
I'm struggling with it.
To me, it was Prusa was more, I don't know. My brain worked the way Prusa did, so I understood it.
Yep, I like Prusa. Prusa seems to be pretty slick, so that's what I'm running now and been doing. So,
and you do have the you've got it on expert mode.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's an awful lot of settings that you can't get to if you don't. So
yes, that's why a lot of people's like, it doesn't allow many. You know, they make it very simple, but if you want it to be full control, you can do that.
Oh man, yeah, you can do a lot with it. It's been a very big learning experience. It really has. We'll see where it all goes, but I haven't tried this little key out that he sent me, so I need to try that little baby out and see, because I think it works on this lock now. At least set of cuffs anyway. Uh-oh, did I lose you there?
Oh, me? Oh. No, I'm here.
Oh, there you go. There was just, I wasn't hearing anything and I wasn't seeing any movement on the video, so I thought maybe I lost you.
Yeah, I was trying to jump over to the chat and make sure I can see it and respond. Hey, Snook. My biggest thing on printing is resin printing is a whole different world, and it's bed plate issues. Bed plate issues is my biggest deal, because resin's designed not to print on the bed plate. You're supposed to have it lifted,
right?
And I'm so used to printing, filament. I like the smooth bottom that the bed does.
Well, and that's one thing. So mine has a glass bed. And I've been thinking about getting one of the magnetic beds and replace the bed.
Oh yeah, the only time I used the glass was for was it TPU and what is the other stuff? Not ABS, but the next step down.
Yeah, and I don't remember. This thing actually has a chunk of the glass is missing. It's broke.
Oh,
just a small spot. And he said that was some filament that he got a hold of and he printed with it.
And it wouldn't let go.
When he went to take it off the bed, he said it took a chunk out of the glass.
Yeah, you gotta use some kind of releasing agent for glass most of the time.
Yeah. So I could use a new bed on there anyway.
What did I use? I used it come in a stick. I'm trying to think of it. I don't know if you use like just regular hairspray or do you use the actual printing stick.
Yeah.
Goose stick. Was it goose stick?
Glue sticks.
Or goo. There's a brand that's I can see it. And it's like a offset red, pink red label.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just using PLA Plus for most of my stuff. I think I have some regular PLA as well. A guy gave me a spool of glow in the dark PLA
Mm-hmm.
because I was talking about what I'd like to do with that. Is I want to take and print out a model of a small, cartoon character, put a hollow tube through it, turn it into a lamp for my granddaughter.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So when she turns it off, it'll glow a little bit. Thought that'd be kind of cool to try out. I haven't taken time. I haven't messed with that yet, but thought that'd be kind of fun. Thought she'd get a kick out of it.
Some people that do like they'll actually do real thin, like light colored filaments and put the bulb inside of it.
Yeah, that'd be an idea too. But
just gotta worry about the heat,
Right. That's why I thought about just rigging it up and putting a lampshade above it, and the character underneath it is the lamp base.
Yeah.
Saw a pack of gummy worms that read no artificial flavor. Who buys gummy worms hoping they taste as close to real worms as possible, right?
There we go.
Dean P and Snake are in the house. Morning, guys. How are you? Yeah. I'm hoping this print turns out well enough on this Vice base that I can put it to work. And I think I turned my infill up a little too high on it, though. Boy, it's been a long print. But by God, it'll be solid.
But yeah, I mean, jumping back earlier when I was watching, if you can't find anything for those that 410, let me know. I mean, I got some extra pins if that guy doesn't.
Yeah, I'm only missing one, and I bet if I go down to that guy's shop down here, he'll probably sell me a batch of pins or springs. I got lots of pins, I just don't have springs because the springs I've got are all out of that Sparrow's refill kit for this, and they're huge.
Yeah, they're like for the .119 diameter.
Yeah.
That's what I want to pick now.
I bought a couple of replacement cores from Packlock because I screwed up my cores, and they sent me cores and a crap load of pins, but no springs. So, but yeah, for the most part, like I said, this i3 Mega seems to print good. It's just a matter of me learning the settings of the software to get what I really need out of it. For the different filaments and things like that. It's not very big. It doesn't do very big base, so I can't print big stuff, but the stuff I'm doing, it works fine. So I was thinking of printing out some stuff to do some pocket pinning trays and use those for giveaways and things like that. I've got a whole pile of did you ever mess with It's Tacticals gear?
Nah.
Well, that's what this bag is from. Is It's Tactical? They've closed up shop, and I got a hold of a whole bunch of their polycarbonate cases.
Oh yeah, you said you want to make a little challenge lock and stuff out of it.
Yeah, I made a challenge lock case. One's out there floating around right now with that. But then I want to build out some pinning trays for these instead of the little metal cases. They're a lot stronger.
Yeah, that's one I designed for our club last week that I'm printing out. We're gonna give them out with our training locks. We made some training locks out of mortise and stuff. So
I want to do some of those. I want to do some little pinning trays and either put my logo or something like that. I did some little cards like this. Can't really see it. Got the logo in there on those.
Yep, Snake did something like that.
Yep, I've got one of his hanging on the board up there. That's kind of what gave me the idea to try it out. It was Mr. Snake. So I did this one is it's raised up, and then I did another one where I cut it in instead.
You got the raised one and like reverse so then you could maybe stamp your packages with it.
I actually did. I've made a wax stamp
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I haven't tried it out yet to see how it works, but it's a little bit tricky using the 3D printed wax stamp from what I'm reading.
Oh, okay.
Got to be a little careful because you got to set it and then you got to let it sit and let the wax harden a bit before you take it out. But they also say to spray it down with like PAM
Oh,
nonstick spray. Otherwise,
a-
the wax will stick to the plastic. So
yeah.
I haven't tried it out to see how it works, but I did do that because I was thinking that same thing. Was stamping that on a package or two be kind of cool. Let's see. Here's another master that's actually kind of a fun little pick. Looks like it's relatively simple, but it's tougher than it looks. That's a 532.
532. Oh, hell.
That's a nice little lock. I like that one too. Just a little orange belt. So I've got a few. But like I said, almost everything around here that you can get are either these cheesy little brinks, which they're fun, or masters. I mean, there is nothing else available. There isn't a single store in town that carries anything else. Other than, like I said, that one locksmith, he carries the American 1100s. So I've thought about getting a couple other 1100 models besides or a couple of American, not the 1100s, but some of the other series that they have. But yeah, that 3D printed case for the 410, that's actually pretty slick. I like it.
Is it working pretty good?
Yeah, I got it all put together this morning, got the lock in there, and it's a little bit tight on the keyway, so the key doesn't turn quite as easy. It's a little stiff, but that's fine. Other than that, I mean, it works just as smooth as can be. And then it's got a ridge put up on the back side of it, so even if you do overturn it, you won't drop your pins out.
Ah, okay.
So it's an improvement. And then you just got to pick up a couple of screws and nuts to put it all together with, and you're good to go. So I'll be back to being able to play with that one.
Yeah, I've been buying all kinds of stuff off of eBay lately. I just got these Titan locks. Trying them out.
I haven't done any of that. I tried to buy some off Facebook. There was somebody that had some down in Colorado, but he would only do an in-person deal. He would not ship them to me.
Yeah.
And then, so my company, we have an office down there. And I was like, I talked to one of my guys. He was willing to go pick it up. I said, he'll meet you, pay for it, and pick it up. Nope. I won't give you my number, so he can't contact me. It's only by Facebook. I'm like, come on, dude. I'm willing to give you the money for him. And nope. He refused to do it. All right, fine. Forget it. Yeah. Yeah, I like this little 532. That's fun. It's nothing special. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pin. But very nice, very smooth. Very smooth action on that for a master. That's a smooth lock. Unlike, this old, what is this one here? Number 1. That's an oldie. But works. Got a nice little brass brinks, but it's one that they'd cut it off. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Which side did they cut off? The main side or the?
Yeah. Yeah.
If it'll pop out far enough, you can silver solder it back together.
Yeah, probably could, huh?
Is that far as it goes out? Well, no, it goes out further, doesn't it?
Oh, it goes out further. If I pick it, it pops up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can silver solder.
Yeah.
That's what I did on a 410 that got cut. That's silver soldered it.
Yeah.
It's not good as a regular locker, but hey, it works.
Right. I don't know what. I don't remember what this one is here. I saw that sitting there. Oh, it's just an empty core. That's one that, I don't have a key for. But I bet I could get one. I could put that together and make that into some kind of a challenge lock. That's a nice one. It's already opened up. A guy could grub it pretty easy.
Yeah, the only thing about grubbing those is they compress the springs a little
compresses
bit.
the spring more. Yeah.
But if you don't have the metal cap, that's your only, or the brass strip.
Well, this one doesn't have a recessed strip, so I'm not sure what this one would have used to hold them in. It looks like something would have slid down over
Oh, yeah,
the
it went
shaft
around the
here and held it
side.
in.
Yeah, little cap.
Yeah. So that's why I thought maybe that's when I could grub it or something and then shorten the springs a little bit, I guess, so you're not compressing them quite so hard. But, you know, I've got lots of little junk like that around here. I've got lots of these little cores that he gave me, but, you know, no keys for any of them. So
What kind of keyway are they?
This one, I believe, is a quick set because I think my KW1 Leashy works in that one. I've got a couple of those. And then I've got this, like I said, this SFIC Corbin Russwin core. I can't get anywhere with that damn thing. So, but I don't have a key for that either. So that might be one. Oh, so I was hoping to be able to pick that thing open.
Oh, yeah.
And then make a key for it.
So if you're usually for some reason when Picksmith sends me a box, he always sends me a box of keys already cut for stuff.
Huh.
So if you ever like, I got plenty of Schlage like SC1s and SC4s that are already
I think
cut.
Look, I don't remember if that was an SC or a KW keyway on that one now.
And I got KWs because I bought a whole box.
Yeah, that's a quick set.
Oh, I got some of those too.
I do believe. Maybe not. No, maybe it's neither one.
Be one of those weird Schlage keyways.
Well, I know I was picking on it, but yeah, it definitely isn't that. Maybe I didn't do that on this one, but I thought I had. Which one did I do? Oh, there's a KW1 right there.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know, maybe this one isn't. I thought it was, but get no feedy, so it ain't that. I've got this big doorknob.
Goodwill the other day, and they had 2 boxes of these pack locks for sale. I've never seen
pack locks.
Yeah, it's a 95G. Looks like a military lock. It's all brass, laminated.
Oh, that's a pretty lock. You said that's a pack lock or a master?
Nice pack. Let's see. Focus. Turn the light
That's
on.
a pack lock, huh?
Yep. Let's see.
Ah, those are pretty. I like those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It says specific lock there, 95G. Come on, where's my focus? There it is.
That's a very pretty. That's a good looking lock. Like that.
Yeah, I'd never seen them until I saw them for sale on Goodwill.
Right. Okay. Yeah, well, that's where I got all of these 6835s. That came off of a Facebook find. Somebody who had retired, and he had 7 of them. They were all keyed alike. I got all 7 of them for $13. We keep getting ads to buy generic Viagra, huh, Dean? Well, I don't know what kind of stuff you've been searching for that you're getting those kind of ads.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Just saying. The weird one that got me the other day, and I don't know if any of you guys have seen this, and I don't know why it came into my feed on Facebook of all places, was a freaking video. So you can't show nudity on Facebook, but you can if it's educational. So all of a sudden I have this video pop up about breastfeeding, and it's this topless gal standing there. Very bizarre. Popped into my feed once and then disappeared. And I'm like, well, that's fine. That can go away. But I don't know what the heck they're thinking with that.
Yep. And this one's dead core, dead shackle. So it's.
See, I think that's very similar then to the one I've got. Let's see. I've got.
I say it's all bad.
I have this Master US. lock. It's a Master DG, and that's the same. That's a dead core, dead shackle lock.
And I'm wondering if it's just the military. That's the military spec, dead core, dead shackle.
Right.
Got the chain. It's all brass.
Yep.
So yeah, there's nothing sticking to it except that retainer.
Yeah. See, this one, it looks like it's brass, but it's steel. But it's just got that brass coloring to it. But it's all steel. But yes, you're right, GK man. I know how now. Go anonymous before watching your porn. Right? Exactly. Right? and use your DuckDuckGo browser. Just saying. Because if you're using Chrome, even in anonymous mode, you are not anonymous. Just
really.
So no, you are not. It is you are anonymous to some of the websites out there, but Google is still tracking and logging everything you do.
Yeah.
Just heads up, do not trust Google Chrome. I do a lot with browser work and testing and various things, and yeah, Google Chrome is the last browser I'll ever use. I can't stand it. They finally fixed it. There for the longest time, if you let Google Chrome store your passwords, they were just stored in a plain text file. If you knew where to look on the computer, you could pull it up and grab every website and every password you had. I did on those, yes. G-Key, they came from Harbor Freight. Actually, not bad little magnets for the money. They're a little bigger diameter, so I have these. And these are what I'm going to use in this base that I'm printing. So they're a little bit bigger. And then here are, geez, oh Pete. And then they're the ones from 44 Delta. So these are a much smaller diameter. They're a little thinner magnet. But again, for the money, I think I got this, what did it have? 10 magnets, I think, in that kit from Harbor Freight for like $3. Yeah, I use Brave browser as well.
You got Brave browser?
Brave is another one. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
They claim to not track any of your data, and from the research I've done on it so far, they seem to be pretty good, pretty reliable. Firefox is still probably my favorite, but I use the others. It depends on what I'm doing. At work, I'm in IT, and I have a lot of things at work that I have to use Internet Explorer for because that's all I can get into it with. Most of the other browsers, it's either that or Chrome, and I refuse to use Chrome. So. Yeah. So it is what it is, but you can search the dark web with any browser if you know where to go and what to do and where to get into the right search engines for it. But, the dark web is, interesting. Really, all the dark web amounts to is it is a websites out there on the web that are not tied into any search engines, so you can't find them. You have to know where to go or know which. There are special search engines you can use to search the dark web. That's how these other companies use it, to search and look out there to see if your data has been compromised and put out on the dark web, is by searching at certain places.
Well, let me ask you this. So like Google and stuff, when they crawl websites, they just ping every IP address, right?
Not necessarily. They claim to, but like I said, dark websites, they have IP addresses out there, but they don't have the DNS names associated out into search engines to let you search them. So Google, when they're scrubbing the web, they don't hit those and find them.
Okay, but I thought I was going to ask, because I know when I tried learning web page, but if you don't want a search engine to post your information, you have to put it in the HTML file at the top, telling the crawler not to read my information.
Right, that is part of it. Yes.
Okay. So
yeah. Clean device. Yeah, I have a little bit of that as well, Chuck, and a little bit of it's just unpublished sites is all dark web is. Yeah, the data's still there. You just have to know where to go and how to find it, because it's not available publicly for you to find.
You got to know the specific IP address then.
Yeah. Yeah, or the exact URL for the website. It's just isn't, like you said, it's blocked, so it's not being scoured by the web crawlers.
Well, say
But
if
then
they
there are
use
certain
a.
web pages that you can go to let you search the dark web that do scour it, right?
Okay. I would say if, but if they have a web address, then they're publishing to a DNS, right? So that's kind of more vulnerable to find it.
Right. But yeah, they're banned. We're blocked out of the search engines and crap like
Yeah.
that, like you said, through the HTML files. But it's a whole interesting world. You got to be careful you get out there because there's a lot of malicious junk. Yeah, you're right, Chuck. The media makes the dark web sound like it's just this super evil, and there's a lot of really cool stuff out there. You just got to be really careful with what you're doing and what you're digging into, because you can find yourself in some nasty holes in a hurry. Like a new Spider-Man movie, the web crawlers. Hey, that's what they used to call all search engines, or were just called web crawlers. Wasn't there even one an actual search engine? It's probably still out there called web crawler.
So,
Back in the early days, that was that was pre-Google. You used
yeah,
web crawler.
yeah. My before Google, I think my favorite was InfoSeek. I don't know if people ever
Yep,
used that
that
one.
was another good one. Yep.
It kind of died out.
Back in the 2000s. Yeah, the web was way more open. Yeah, absolutely. You could find about anything you wanted out there.
Yeah, literally.
Well, literally. You still can. Um, you just got to be a lot more careful. There's a lot more malicious code and crap out there than there used to be. Yep. Yeah, exactly right. You got to protect yourself. Like you said, use a clean machine, a separate machine, use a Linux box. Yeah, ask Jeeves. I remember that one. Netscape, you bet. You can still find installers for Netscape out there if you can find something that'll run it. It's still available.
Let's see.
Absolutely. Netscape was rocking, man. I loved that one.
Isn't there like a version if you do like Linux? Isn't there some of their stuff based off of Netscape?
I think there still is, yeah. Yeah. AOL. AOL is still alive and kicking, man. I was surprised by that. But yeah, good old Netscape. Yeah. Yeah. Learn Linux. Learn Linux if you want a secure system. Not that there aren't things out there to attack it, but because it's more of a secondary operating system, more obscure, there just isn't a lot written for it. And the way it functions is just more secure than Windows. Windows is starting to try and emulate Linux actually a lot more in the security realm of the world. Hey, man, I remember installing modems for businesses that used two separate phone lines for dial-up so that you could double the bandwidth, man. I mean, you were hauling.
Oh yeah.
You had fast internet if you had that going.
Shoot. I remember my first modem was a 1200 baud.
Yep.
Modem. Dialing up to the bulletin board, local bulletin board.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. External, connected to a serial port on the computer. That was my first one, was that actual external modem.
And it was probably a parallel port, not a serial port. If it's
I think you're right. Too.
The old great big connector on that thing.
Yeah, the old printer port. Yeah. I actually just threw away here a little bit ago a set of 3.5-inch floppies with DOS 3.2 on it. It's like I probably don't need to keep these anymore.
Yeah,
I think I still have an external floppy drive available too, though, so I can still read floppies.
Yeah, I've got a stack of them. I need to either read what's on them or destroy them.
Yep, bootable USB with Kali and one with Tails. Yep, I've played with both of those. Same thing. Yep. I was actually going to do that with my computer here at the office for doing my live streams and stuff. I was going to run everything through Linux, but some of the software just is not quite as clean and robust in there as it could be. But they're getting closer. They're improving it all the time. It's just about done printing the nut for my vice base, and then it'll finish up the rest of the base. And it looks like, again, about a quarter of the way up, it looks like there's one layer, maybe two layers that just kind of went to shit, and then it went back to printing fine again. It's really weird how it'll be just one layer in the middle of the print, or well, it's more than one layer, but this one was pretty low down where it went wonky. This nut, it's a good quarter inch up before it went weird. And then it's just that one little bit, and then it's back to smooth again. So not too sure what's going on.
I remember everybody used to say, "Yeah, I got a 3.5 hard drive." I said, "No, that's not a hard drive. That's a floppy." No, it ain't.
Right?
It's stiff. I said,
"See, they're stiff. It's a hard drive."
Yeah, it's still a floppy disk.
It was just a few years ago in one of our site cleanup jobs that we were doing. We found some. What the heck size were those stupid damn things?
Oh,
they were old school. They were actual hard floppies, but they were the big
12-inch or
12-inch or some crap. Yeah. We found a box of those stupid things.
Gosh.
One of the other sites, just maybe a year ago, I found an external zip drive and a couple boxes of zip disks.
Yep. That was the big thing. Oh, you can store 100 megs on those.
Oh, man, they were awesome. And they were fast, man. I'm telling you, they were amazing.
Oh, zip drive. I remember you had to buy those in college. That's what we had to walk around at college to carry all our data on, was those things.
Yep. Yep. Well, that's like I said, I've got this R2D2 USB drive, and I don't remember what this thing is. Maybe it's a 4 gig, which was huge at the time. I think I got that at VMworld one time, a long time ago. And GKey Man, you still have some zip drives? Yeah. Well, I was amazed. I grabbed a computer that we were getting rid of at work. It's one that just came out of warranty, so still nothing wrong with it. But it actually has a internal CD writer on it, which man, they don't do many of those anymore.
No.
But it's an Intel i7. And I think I've got 64 gig of RAM in it right now, 8th gen i7. So nothing wrong with it. It runs what I need pretty well. Does video pretty good. So step up from what it had. It actually has USB-C ports on it. So yeah. Or the old, here's a way back machine, the old Packard Bell computer.
Oh, Packard Bell.
Remember, Packard Smell.
Oh, that was nice compared to what we call them. Packard Hells. I mean, dang.
Oh, they were something. Yeah, or Gateway computers.
Yep, had a Gateway.
I worked on a lot of gateways.
Come in the cow box.
Yep, that's right. There's one sheriff's department I worked for, everything we had were gateways. They had no IT staff whatsoever. Well, I understood computers better than anybody else there, so I ended up being their de facto IT guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 386.
Yep. Oh. Yeah, I definitely need to turn down my infill because, man, this thing's been running for coming close to 24 hours now, just printing the base of the nut.
Oh, wow.
But I think I cranked it up. I think it's running like 50% infill or something.
Yeah.
And then pretty slow speeds on top of it. 386, 486, and Pentium PCs. All right. Probably still have a turbo button. There you go. That's how you know you had a screaming machine, man. You had a turbo button. I don't think it did anything, but you had a turbo button.
Yeah. Minesweeper, yeah, that was about the biggest thing on Windows. That was.
Hey, you can still get and put Minesweeper on your Windows 11 machine if you did not know that.
Yeah, I always like
It is still available.
Set it to the largest grid with the fewest mines, and just
Yeah, that was a fun game. I liked Minesweeper. Like I said, I think I have it on one machine. I found where you could grab it and install it from Microsoft and put it back in there. They still offer some retro games that are out there in your Windows features you can turn on. Remember the old pinball game that Windows used to have?
I about
That
broke
was
some
fun. That was actually a
keyboards.
pretty cool game.
About broke a keyboard over that, trying to slap it like a pinball machine.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. That was fun. I liked that. Yeah. All the Win311 games. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta remember. Hop into your config and your auto exec bat files and configure your HiMem settings. And set it so it'll auto start Windows for you, so you don't have to do that from your DOS prompt. You can just have it auto load Windows.
Yeah.
And then remember to manually configure your printer and your serial ports so you can get things to work.
Why ain't the printer working? Did you set it to LPT1?
Right, and then is LPT1 configured properly in the BIOS?
Yep.
Oh lordy, some of the goodness, man. What we got here? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
See, like I printed out one of these, 3D printed one of these. I did a couple of those and sent one off to BrokePix and 3D printed the spring and that stuff all printed out beautiful, no problem.
Yeah.
Did a nice job. So I don't know. You know, you say bat files were fun. I still have enterprise grade systems at work that we're using bat files. We're in process of converting them over to PowerShell scripts, but they're still running bat files for kicking off FTP jobs. But at least I found a way to put a signature in them and lock them down so they can't be maliciously edited. But that's still just a layer of security through obscurity kind of a thing, right? That's why we're trying to convert them. Yeah. I haven't messed with these in a while. I should grab out a lovely little Jimmy Long. Yeah, I used to be pretty good at writing up scripts and bat files to get it to do all the goofy crap. And tried to build some intelligence in there to fire off emails if things were missing, and ended up with some crazy long scripts. Now it's all PowerShell. I did, man, and thank you so much for that. You know, that was really awesome of you to do that. It's pretty sad though, dude. That's the only way I can win a drawing is if somebody else wins the drawing and throws it my way. I am like the world's most unlucky person when it comes to things like that. So yeah, thank you. I will definitely be showing that thing off once it gets in. The only thing that I had to struggle with on the lives like that is And I know it might get some of you guys over here rolling, but I am not a pot fan. Having done what I've done and watching my wife's family, I've watched drugs destroy so much that I just did not have a real hard time with that. I-7. Winning 2 days in a row. Yeah, no doubt. 64 RAM, 850 watts. Still need a new case and a better cooler. Yeah. This is a little mini. It's an Optiplex, Dell Optiplex 5060 I'm currently running with, and it's got an i7. I don't know which one it is, though. Let's see what it tells me. i7 8700 CPU. Operating at 3.2 gigahertz, 6 cores, 12 logical processors. And then I think I've got 64 gig of RAM running in here. I added a separate video card, so I have a second video card in here that I can roll over. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you what, that dude is looking to give himself a heart attack. He was in there smoking weed, drinking Red Bull, and taking shots of whiskey all at the same time. That's a good way to make something pop. Nice guy. I like his videos. I like his content. He has some great content showing off some cool knives. Got some really neat stuff. I've got a couple more knives I need to get out and get sharpened up. A couple of homemade ones. Got one I need to build some grips or handles for. It's just got a leather wrap handle on it now that I made when I was, I don't know, 12, 13 years old. My dad got into building knives. And I worked with him and built one out. I haven't played any computer games in so long, man. I don't even know what I would play anymore. Assassin's Creed, I used to like that one. I haven't played that in forever, though. You know, and I've played them on game consoles, and I think I actually prefer doing a lot of those on a computer versus the other. To me, it's more fun. Assassin's Creed Shadow. You trying to do a combination lock there? You know, I have one, and
Yeah.
I haven't quite figured that out. I'm trying to hold pressure on it and turn the dials and figure it out. I haven't figured out how to get that thing to open yet.
I was trying to change the combination, but I don't know. If something that came in the box with some locks, I'd order.
If it's anything like the one I've got, you turn the shackle so it's facing away from the body and then push it back down, and
Yeah,
then you can change the combination. At least that's the way the master that I have is. Yeah. You know, and I know a lot of people, it's like they claim that marijuana is not a gateway drug, and I'm probably going into a place that'll set people off. But, you know, everybody that I have dealt with, that's where they started. And the drug itself may not get you there, but the people you're hanging around with a lot of times do, because they start introducing you to other things. Elder Scroll Online, huh? You know, my mother-in-law, man, bless her heart, she's 66 years old. And if you met her, you would swear she was closing in on 90. And she absolutely cannot live without 6-7 hits a day. And almost everybody on that side of that family has been in jail at one point or multiple points because of drugs. Yeah, I think this vise is going to turn out all right, though. It's not looking half bad. There's a couple little spots that are a little weird looking, but it'll work. I think the nut's finally done. That looks good. So, yeah. Need to get the monthly here, so I need to replenish my nets. You know, I don't know. I haven't done a whole lot of the online gaming thing. I've played a couple of those. I kind of prefer having a local one that I can just play at my own leisure because I don't play that much anyway, and play against the computer kind of a thing.
Yeah, every time I played online on games, it's like all the expert come in and whoop my tail. I was like, that ain't no fun. I'm like,
yep.
No.
Absolutely destroy me in there in like 2 seconds flat. There's not much enjoyability in that. I don't remember what one was. A buddy of mine wanted me to try out one time when we hopped on. It was one of the war simulator game things. And it was so freaking frustrating to me because you couldn't get beyond the spawn point because there was some kid sitting right outside the spawn point popping you as soon as you'd spawn. Yep. So you could never even get into the game. We tried for 45 minutes. I could never get beyond that point because the second you spawned, you got shot. It's like, well, I had enough of that crap. Well, hopefully, like I said, I'm going to try and get my 250 subscriber thing going today. I'll look back, come up with, I think that might be a good one. Find your hardest lock and pick it with your cheapest tool set. See what you get. That might be fun. Oh, that's an interesting looking little lock.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know. Is that Samsonite logo?
Huh.
I'm not sure. It didn't have a name on it. It was just like a cheap little.
Yeah, my little combination one's upstairs, I guess. But yeah, it's one that's easy to change the combination on the one I've got. But I haven't been able to figure out how to slip it and get it to open yet.
Trying to decode this one.
Master or combination locks would be another one. Would be kind of fun to learn how to do.
I have tried, and I have not been successful at getting the feel for them.
See?
I mean, so my technique is I shim it, and I stick a camera down there, and I decode it that way. And
right. Got it. So there's the nut that it printed out, okay. And there's one layer right here. Right there, that's got a little ridge going. I don't know if it's hard to see in there.
Yeah. But
there's one spot. But other than that, the rest of it, and there you can see on the bottom, there's a couple of rough spots where it didn't quite adhere right or something.
Yeah, that's one reason I like the magnetic textured plate. They hide a lot of that because it gives you that. This one's covered.
Yeah, where the glass plate, you don't get that.
Yeah, like that's off a textured plate, and it's pretty. It hides any imperfections.
Yeah, screws on this other base that I've got pretty well. So there it is. So yeah, that should work. I just get the base, then I got to print out another neck. We'll be able to go back to having a smaller vise. Kind of like that little 3-legger. And then, like I said, I put the holes in there so I can try and put magnets up in it. I think that'll be neat.
And when you start looking for your picks, they're going to be stuck to the bottom of it.
Right? Yeah, I know. Well, I'll be putting I take and I cut out a mouse pad.
Uh-huh.
Fixed to the bottom of it to give it some texture. That's what I did to this one.
This was what did I do with this one?
Yeah.
This was toolbox. I think this was toolbox liner.
The magnet will be recessed up in there far enough that I don't know that I'll have problems with my pick sticking to the bottom of it too bad.
Okay. Are you using it to stick stuff to the top to hold it in places, or is it just store it?
Well, no, it's just so I can stick tools to the top of it when you're working with it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I recessed, holes like that up through the bottom of it inside,
Mm-hmm.
coming up just about to the surface, and then I'll push the magnets up and recess them in there.
Gotcha.
And then you should be able to stick the tools to the top of it, tension wrench or pick or whatever. Thought it'd be neat to try it out and see if it worked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to print that a lot faster now. That's not having to move back and forth between the base and the nut. So, and that's what I got to play with next on Prusa. I need to open up that and I'll save this. Export my G code of that file. Then I got to do a base so that I can do that one. I'll go back here. Lock case. Yes. There, and then I can. Because I got to print the ball out yet. Haven't done that. But I think I'm going to print. So I did the base and the nut in this black, and then I think I'll do a gray filament for the other just to offset it a little bit. So you're talking something like this right here for an LFIC, I believe. But yeah, I can print those out.
Well, for LFICs?
To hold an LFIC. It'd be a little different than this, but yeah, you can they make holders for that so you can pick them in hand.
Which, the Schlage one, the construction core? Because I've got a file for that if somebody needs that.
Yeah, I don't know which one he's talking about, but that was Dean P. was asking about holding an LFIC core to make it hand pickable. But yeah, there's files out there for all of that stuff. And this one's kind of neat because it's got the different setups in here, so it'll actually hold multiple different types of cores. And then you can flip it the other way and have just a standard kick cylinder go in there. So that one's pretty slick.
I'm just looking at that because most of your LFI or SFICs are too round, and that was like a kick style straight up.
Right. Yeah. It is. It is. But like I said, it just allows you to hold some different styles of cylinders in there in the one tool. Yeah. But yeah, for an LFIC or an SFIC, it'll be a little different design than that. But yeah, I'm sure, like you said, you already have a file for it, and I about guarantee you there's probably a million
others
files out there.
Let's see, because I had so many of those construction cores from Picksmith that I was needed to have some holders for. Trying to see if I can get on my thing of those.
Device files. Now I got to figure out which ball it is. Bring in another one. See. All two.
I don't have it on there. I can
add that. All right. All one. All right, I think ball 3 is the one I want. I like the long-necked ball.
Yeah, you just got to get a really long.
Huh?
The screw's going to just. I can't remember what the screw is. That's a 2.5 or 3 inch screw.
Yeah. For that. Yeah. And I just took it with me. We've got a store here in town where you can buy them just individual. They've got bulk.
Yeah,
I took it all with me down there and found the right one that fit. So I didn't have to add any washers or all that crap to it. I didn't want that.
Yeah, I didn't need that.
And yeah, it fit really good. So, and I think I've already got the settings saved of what you were talking about, changing that.
Just give it a trial and test it. And
yep.
I don't want too much filament.
Well, luckily the filament isn't overly expensive. But yeah, I made some of those changes that you were talking about on there. So. Extrusion multiplier, density. I don't remember where that setting was you were talking about. The biggest thing I think is figuring out the right temperatures to run.
Yeah, it took some playing because certain filaments like certain things, and
absolutely. Yeah.
I want to say I run like PLA Plus. I don't know. I'd have to go back to my.
Well, and they
Find my
tell you on
old
the package what the recommended temperature range is, but
right.
most of them I'm finding I'm having to run it below what they're saying, or it's too dang hot, and I just get a mess. So
I think mine was just kind of the opposite. I think I ran a lot of my stuff toward the higher end of what their ranges with my Creality printer. Now with
right.
the one I got, the Bamboo, it has its own recommendations and they seem to work so far.
How do you like that Bamboo?
Oh, I love it.
I've heard good things about those.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't afford the full blown. I had to get the cheapest one, not the mini, but the one that's open and don't have all the sides. And
Right. Yeah. There's no enclosure on mine either, which for PLA and PLA Plus, I don't think you really need it.
nah, because you're not
It's when
trying
you
to
get
get
into
that
some of the others that you do.
where you got to keep all that heat in there and keep it.
Hey, Mr. Nick's picks dropped in as well. Hey guys, make sure you give me a like on the way out if you would. But I'm about going to have to call her quits, guys, because I got a lot of lawn work to do and laundry. And
Yep. Same here.
appreciate you hopping on, and thanks for
Yeah.
the suggestions on the printing. I'll give it a try, and we'll see how it does. Because like here, you can see. I don't know if you can see this. Let's try and zoom in where I've got better lighting. So there you can see on there. I had a couple spots where it didn't adhere properly, so you can see where it kind of warped up a little bit in a couple spots.
And that's odd if you get any warping PLA usually. Yeah, you switch out to a magnetic tray, and I think you'll have a lot better adhesion.
Right, and I think a lot of this is just because of adhesion. It just it isn't sticking properly to the base. But so they're not as good a prints as I'd like to see. And see there, you can see with the zoom in, you can see that one line, that one layer that went wonky on me, and that's what I usually get is like one or two little layers that'll do something weird, and then it's back to printing just fine. Very strange. But,
any of that.
and I know it's just a matter of settings. It's a matter of me learning the printer.
Yeah,
doing a better job.
It is. It's tweaking that printer just right. So, all right.
Again, if you haven't been on my 200 giveaway, guys, get your in. We have 1 week left, and I'll get the 250 one. Hopefully, I'll get that put out yet this weekend. Get that listed out, and then a few other videos that I need to do and some other products that I want to do some reviews on and play with. So appreciate it. I thank you for everybody joining in. Thank you for hopping on, Mr. Lockchuck, and for the suggestions. I will let you know how it goes.
All right, sounds good.
And everybody else, have a marvelous weekend and a happy Mother's Day. Make sure you call your mama. All right.